Hi, Sean here again. Just a quick video to show you how to make a couple of cappuccinos in a semi-automatic machine. Let's see, so I want to get the group head warmed up. One way to do that is to turn the machine on about 20 minutes before you're going to take a swing at making coffee. Or another way, a little quicker if you don't have the patience, is just to run an empty shot, just to run some hot water through it, heating up the group head and heating up the portafilter. It also helps to warm up the cup. Okay, so that was just water. So now my group head is warm. Get that water out of there. Okay, so let's see. Tamp that down just a little bit. I think it could take a little more. Now I'm going to tamp it down with a little bit of pressure. Not too much. Okay, now I'm ready to pull a shot, but I'm going to steam my milk first because someone once told me that the espresso has a very short life expectancy of its flavor profile, and as soon as you pull that shot it immediately starts to lose flavor. But the milk could sit for a minute or two, so I'm going to make the milk. I'm going to get the steam running. It's going to take just a moment. This flashing light on my Breville Barista Express is telling me that it's a single boiler unit, so it's bringing the water up to steaming temperature. It'll take a moment. I want to get that steam going before I put it in the milk. So you saw those droplets of water. I don't want that in my milk if I can avoid it. Now when you turn it off, you have 8 seconds to turn it back on before it has to start the whole process all over again. So I'm going to start getting this milk warm, and then I'm going to put the wand just below the surface so that it's taking air and forcing it into the milk to froth it. If I put it too far, it's going to start splashing all over the place. If I stick it deep inside, it's just going to boil the milk. So I want to get it right at the surface. And notice I only filled my cup half full with milk because it doubled in size, in volume that is. Run a little steam through it to clear it out. And you need to wipe this right away or you're never going to get that dried milk off of there. But be careful, the wand is extremely hot. I'm using a damp cloth, and even so I can still burn myself very easily. Now that sound you hear, the pump running, is purging the superheated or the steam from the boiler, because you don't want to use water that's too hot to pull your espresso shot. So it's purging that, and it's going into the drip tray here. I can hear it draining. Should be about ready. Now I'm ready to pull my shot. I got my milk ready. I got a cup that's been warmed up a little bit. So I'm going to hit I put a double shot in there. I'm using the double basket, single walled double shot. I'm going to hit the double button. This is a semi-automatic machine, so it's pre-programmed to use the right amount of water for the right amount of time to draw a double or a single. You can also do it manually, but I got a program, I got it dialed in, why bother? You see I've got the pressure gauge inside that espresso range, just north of the middle of it, so that should be a pretty good shot. If you tamp it down too hard or grind it too fine, it's going to be too much pressure, and if you grind it too coarse or didn't put enough pressure tamping it down, you're not going to have enough pressure. So you want it right in that range. So I did it right about perfect. So And you can see it's got a crema on it. That's the beauty of a good shot of espresso made with some good coffee and a good machine, that crema. So I don't have a knock box, but meaning to get one. I'm making 2 cups. I'm going to stop it and tamp that down a little bit or it'll start overflowing, but I'm going to put a little bit more in there. And I'm going to tamp it down, not too hard. That should be about right. Get the excess off of there. Make sure it's firmly locked up in there in the group head. And nice little convenience, the tamper has its own magnetic holder right up there. I love the Breville machines. This is the Barista Express, has its own built-in grinder. The model below that is the infuser, which doesn't have the grinder, and I believe it doesn't have this pressure gauge either. So even though I have a grinder, you probably see over here that I have the Smart Grinder Pro. It's terrific, but I like the model that had the built-in grinder, so I got that anyway. Alright, so let me make my next cup. It's a double shot. And at first it's going to pre-wet the grounds. And now it's going to pressure. I tamped that one down just a little hard, but it's still in the range. It's going to be more like a corto or a ristretto. A corto is a short pole with the hand-pulled pistons, or it's a little less water, as opposed to a lungo, a long pole, where you've got a slightly thinner, larger shot. This will be a little thicker, a little more concentrated, which is perfect for making like a macchiato or something like that. But it's still well within a range, so it's a good shot. Double shot. So, got my milk. A cappuccino is 1/3 coffee, 1/3 steamed milk, 1/3 foam. Okay. Just have to step away for a second to get a spoon. I want to make sure I get a little more foam out of there. Now I'm going to put some unrefined turbinado sugar in here. In mine, my friend is going to have some stevia in hers. I want to mix up the coffee and the milk. You see, I'm getting the foam on top to be a light brown, the color of the frock of a Cappuccino monk, hence the name Cappuccino. These could have used just a little more foam. So American coffee houses would call this wet as opposed to dry, because I made a little less foam than I meant to. But that's your due cappuccini, your 2 cappuccino for the day. Thank you for tuning in.